Hey guys, in this video, this is exactly what I would do if I had only 3 weeks to get shredded step by step, no bullshit. Just the most effective move to drop fat fast and look your best. Maybe you got a vacation coming up, maybe you have a wedding, a photo shoot. Doesn't matter what it is, if you really want to get shredded fast, I'm gonna explain exactly how to do it, so stay tuned. The strategy I'm about to share with you guys is simple, but definitely not easy. And I certainly wouldn't recommend it to do it long term. But if you need results fast, this is the protocol for you. My name is Lemaire. I'm a professional Muay Thai kickboxer fighter, a Muay Thai world champion, and also a fitness coach. I have helped over 2,000 people transform their bodies and take over their health. And I've done it myself. I had to cut weight for fights, photo shoot ready for some commercial or any type of media. So this isn't theory. This is actually what works when you are short on time and need real results. So let's dive into step one. Step one is dial in your diet with a tight calorie deficit. First things first, this is the foundation. We're talking about nutrition here. Without your diet dialed in, you just simply won't see the results that you want, period. I've helped thousands of clients drop fat. And the key to doing it fast is creating a sustainable but aggressive calorie deficit. So here's how you're going to do it. First, start by tracking everything from food to fluids. You can use a simple app like MyFitnessPal for that. Now, you want to cut anywhere from 400 to 600 calories from your maintenance calorie intake. So if your calorie intake, for example, to maintain is around 2,500 calories, then you can cut that by about 500 and then get right to 2,000. Now, focus all your meals around protein, and that's the key. Plenty of greens, okay? You need the fiber to digest, and most Americans do not get even close amount of fiber recommended, okay? And then also healthy fat. Now, you can eat carbs, but keep your carb intake low to moderate depending on how much of a activity you have that day. For example, for me, breakfast is 3 to 4 whole eggs. You want the whole egg, okay? Some spinach, maybe some feta cheese, and then an avocado as well for the healthy fat. For lunch, I'll have grilled salmon, some zucchini, and plenty of olive oil. And dinner would be something like a steak, asparagus, and maybe some white rice that will cook with coconut oil or just strip some butter with the steak and the rice, because fat is going to delay the blood sugar spike that you have, okay? So when you eat fat with carbohydrates, your blood sugar levels don't spike as much. So very important to always have fat when you eat carbohydrates with vegetables as well. Absolutely no snacking in between meals, okay? We want to prevent your blood sugar levels to spike up and down throughout the day. So you really want to have a good breakfast, a big lunch, and a moderate dinner, all right, with healthy fats and good balanced portions so that your blood sugar levels doesn't spike up and down and you don't have any crashes. And also snacking throughout the day without even knowing, most people will add at least an extra 400 to 500 calories. So no snacking at all. You heard me say this before, the common mistake when it comes to getting lean and red quick is slashing the calories way too fast. Yes, you will get results within the first week. A lot of people, especially people that don't really eat a lot of protein, a lot of processed carbohydrates, once you retrieve the carbohydrates, water retention that you have from the carbohydrates, you're gonna lose a lot of water weight. Not necessarily fat, but water, all right? So you'll lose 5-10 pounds within the first week. You're like, oh, it's working. But in the long run, it's not about cutting the calories, okay? Because what you do, if you do cut the calories that much too fast, you really slow down your metabolism. And therefore, instead of burning fat, you actually hold on to fat or even add more. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna attack your muscle, and that's the last thing we want to do. I mean, catabolism is a real thing, okay? When your body doesn't have sufficient fuel calories to really repair and replenish. So a good rule of thumb is to 10x, 12x your own body weight, okay? So again, if you are around 200 pounds, like I am, like myself, maybe 2,000 calories to 2,200 calories will be that sweet spot in the calorie deficit. Go ahead and try to track your weight daily and adjust based on the trends and the data you get every day. Don't guess, be precise. Again, you have to track your food. You use an app. Nowadays, it's so easy. There's tons of apps out there that will help you do all the work, but you have to be so precise that you know exactly what you put into your body, okay? Now, there's a lot of tools out there. I have a Garmin watch, which will calculate the total calories that you've burned throughout the day, okay? And therefore, this one is a very expensive watch. It's very precise. You don't have to have that type of watch. Even a Fitbit Fitbit. Sometimes some of them are really accurate. So you can use one of those and be like, hey, I've burned 2,800 calories today because I worked out really hard. I'm only going to eat 2,300, for example, or 24 today. And therefore, I'll be in a calorie deficit. But on Sunday, obviously, okay, if you're not working out and you're taking the day off, maybe that calorie deficit doesn't have to be as much. Step 3 is going to be strength training at least 3 to 4 times a week. You don't just want to get smaller. You want to get leaner and look powerful. And that's what strength training does. It protects your muscle while the fat melts off. So it's very, very important that you lift. Not only lift, but lift heavy as well. Let me explain why lifting is important, why it works. Number 1 is muscle is metabolic gold. As you know, when you're in a calorie deficit, your metabolism tends to slow down. So lifting, especially heavy, is only going to help you preserve that metabolism from getting lower. It's going to maintain that or even get higher. Number 2 is you burn calories while you build. So when you focus on compound movements such as squats, big deadlifts, shoulder presses, you are burning a lot of calories, right? Because you recruit a lot of muscle, your nervous system is really working hard, and then you're going to burn also calories once you're done. You create an aftermath effect that we call EPOC while preserving lean mass. And I refer to this in one of my videos that you can check below. And number 3, this is how you don't look shredded. Muscle plus low body fat is what gets you shredded. Again, from experiences, I had clients dropping calories too fast. So yes, they lose the weight and they think it's fat, but really truly it's mostly muscle, and then they end up really looking kind of smaller but flat, not really the look that you're looking for. Muscle gives you shape, those lines, all right, all around the muscle, especially below body fat, seeing your abs, your pecs, with the definition, and also that dense athletic look. So let's talk about the training schedule. I'm going to give you a couple options here. Option number 1, you could focus on a push day, a pull day, a leg day, and then a full body day. Or option number 2, you could do an upper body day, then a lower body day, a day off, and then repeat upper body day and lower body. So that way you're hitting your body, your upper body twice a week, and your lower body twice a week as well, with plenty of time in between to recover. This is how you want to structure your workout. You always want to start your workout with 1 or 2 big compounds lifts. Squats, deadlifts, split squats, bench press, pull-ups, okay? All those compounds lifts are really gonna recruit a lot of muscle. And then follow with 2 to 4 accessories lifts. And this is what I mean by accessories. Lunges, curls, they're only really gonna target a few amount of muscles compared to a compound lift that is gonna recruit your whole body. Keep the reps in the 6 to 12 reps. On compound movement, you wanna focus on heavier weights, so lower volume, lower reps, anywhere from 6 to 8 is a good number. Now on accessory or isolated lifts like curls, dips, and such as, you want to go anywhere from 10 to 15, okay, a little higher rep, a little lighter weight. Now the rest periods, all right, depending on the intensity that you want to look from anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds, okay? Recovery, I'm not really advising more than that, okay? If you are pressed by time, if you really only have 3 weeks to get shredded, you have to keep the intensity of your workout pretty high, not high enough where you can't recover, you know, in between lifts and you can't push yourself hard enough, but short enough that you want to sweat, okay? Like those days are going to be really pushing yourself and pretty intense. If you don't sweat, usually that means the intensity is just not there. By intensity, that could be the weight that you're pushing, okay, the rest period in between your sets, or the amount of time that you have in between the sets, okay? So again, you know, there's different factors. So you can really measure the intensity by 3 different things. The amount of weight that you actually push, all right, the volume, aka the reps, and the rest that you have in between the sets, all right? The heavier you go, obviously you're gonna need a little bit more rest time, okay? If you're able to cut that rest time a little shorter and do more reps, this is all intensity. That's what intensity means. Now go ahead and track your list. You can use a notebook, old school. There's apps out there that help you out, but track your list, all right? You wanna track your volume and you wanna track how much weight you push. So that way you therefore the next week, you can be like, hey, this is what I did next week. Let me try to go a little heavier this time. Now, your goal when you're cutting, all right, calories, when you're cutting, you try to get shredded, is to maintain or even improve your strength, okay? Generally speaking, the lower calories you have, the less strength you have, okay? But if your calorie deficit is just enough, you're still gonna preserve that strength or even sometimes increase it. It's important for you to lift heavy because it does tell your body to preserve the muscle. If strength plummets, so does muscle mass. A big mistake to avoid is to stop lifting heavy just because you're dieting and you're calorie deficit. Like I said before, I see clients do that all the time and you end up looking just flat, okay? A little smaller but flat, and that's definitely not the goal that we want. As far as your mindset reminder here, you want to think like an athlete, not a dieter. Cutting fat is about performance, precision, and intensity. It's not about starting yourself and doing endless cardio. You want to be precise, know exactly what to do as far as the workouts, you know exactly what to eat. So the final takeaways: 4 focused lifting sessions a week. Stick to the basics: compound lifts and progressive overload. That's why you want to track your lifts, and each week, every 2 weeks, gonna go a little heavier, okay? You only have 3 weeks, so this is something you could do pretty much at every session. For example, on Monday, if you're doing legs and you're doing legs again on Thursday, maybe you want to do a little heavier on Thursday. You want to pick one day maybe where you go a little heavier and then one day a little lighter. But on that day, if you go lighter, more reps and less time in between those sets. Like a professional athlete, you want to track your performance to the T. So you want to lift like you're bulking, but you want to eat like you are cutting. And that's the sweet spot. Step number 4 is you want to add 2 to 3 HIIT sessions a week, or if you are like me and you enjoy martial arts, kickboxing, boxing is going to be a great tool as well. Cardio matters, but not just any type of cardio. You need cardio, right? But not the type of cardio that is going to drain you and also eat your gains, all right? All the muscle, the lean muscle mass that you have accumulated by lifting, you don't want to burn that. This is about explosive, intentional workouts that are going to accelerate fat loss without flattening your physique. So why do those workouts are important? Why do they work? Number 1 is those workouts boost your metabolic rate for hours. As I mentioned before, high intensity interval training such as kickboxing or sprints and so on is going to create an aftermath burning effect, which we call EPOC. Your body is going to keep burning fat for hours after you are done. Number 2, it really spares the muscle and really targets the fat. Short, explosive sessions are going to burn fat while preserving the muscle. Unlike, for example, a long running sessions, people that do 5, 6, 7 or more miles, this is a type of workout that actually is going to attack the muscle, okay? It's not going to necessarily help you lose the fat. Yes, you are going to burn calories and therefore fat, all right? But the effect on the muscle is definitely not what you want. You can compare a long distance runner to a sprinter, for example. Sprinters look jacked. Look at people that do gymnastics. They look jacked. Do they run freaking 10 miles a day? Not at all. Number 3, it builds athleticism and gives you that mental edge. Let's take kickboxing, for example, which I'm the world champion in. All right, they're not only just for fat burning, they're great for it, but also they work on your agility, your speed, your conditioning, and your grit, because those classes are hard, or those workouts are hard, and then mentally they go into push you. And therefore, when you're getting pushed mentally, you grow, your confidence gets up, you'll feel sharper, you'll move better, and you'll perform with more confidence. Here are actionable tips that you can start today. So let's aim for 2 to 3 sessions a week. Those sessions don't have to be long. 20 to 30 minutes most of the time is going to be plenty enough. You don't want to be in there for an hour or 2 to something high intensity, or now you're really going to attack those muscles, okay? So keep it short, keep it sweet, and keep it intense. And choose your weapon. That could be kickboxing, Muay Thai pad work, all right, or heavy bag workout. You could do some type of HIIT sprints, treadmill or outside, anywhere from 10 to 30 sprints with like maybe a minute recovery in between. Go all out for 10-15 seconds, rest for a minute, do it again. A circuit training, maybe with your own body weight, is very effective as well. Push-ups, jump squat, jumping jacks, burpees. The assault bike is also a tool that I love because it's pretty low impact and it's really hard. An easy protocol for the assault bike that I like to do is 20 seconds all out with 40-second rest, and you do that 10 times, and voila, you're done. That's it. Make sure that you are shielded for those types of workouts. Okay, this is a type of workout you want to avoid necessarily doing by not eating carbohydrates. You want carbohydrates. Now, if you are conditioned and you love doing those workouts first thing in the morning fasted, I have some clients that do that. They enjoy it. Everybody's a little bit different when it comes to that. My advice is make sure you're hydrated and carbohydrates. Those are the two things you need: electrolytes or even some minerals, and then you need carbohydrates to perform better. I personally love watermelon, full of water, electrolytes, the sugar in there, maybe a banana. You can have a protein shake with a banana as well. But again, carbohydrates is going to be your friend right here, because you are going to use this. You need to spike your blood sugar levels, your insulin. Insulin is a hormone that is going to make you perform better. All right. So carbohydrates will help you there. So make sure that you fuel up before you show up to that type of workout. Otherwise, you're going to be flat and you're going to risk to overtrain, to injure, and just drain yourself. And then again, we don't want that. So how do you want to program this workout? Well, I would suggest that you do it on days you're not lifting. Monday you lift, Tuesday you do a high intensity, maybe Wednesday you lift again, you take a day off, and then so on. Okay, try to really avoid doing both together. You don't want to lift and then right after doing that, or vice versa, because you need the energy, you need the focus, you need the drive, the motivation for one workout at a time. All right, we never want to half-ass those workouts. We want to go full in, well recovered, well rested, well fed, well hydrated, and then just bang it out hard. The big mistake to avoid here is that more is not necessarily better. Okay, too much cardio is going to affect your gains in that shredded look that you look like. So again, 2 or 3 sessions, depending on how much you really eat and recover, is going to be key. More than that, don't look at professional athletes and be like, oh, I want to look like him. The professional athletes like me have been doing this for so long that it's natural for me. Okay, for you guys that are coming from a higher body fat percentage and you want to get shredded quick, you don't need that much cardio. You understand? You need to rest well, eat well, all right, hydrate really well, and then just know exactly what you're doing. All right, when it comes to the working out, more is not better. I promise you. Most guys always think that because of the ego, do more, I only have 3 weeks. No, you don't have to. All right, you have to keep it structured. I promise you, less but more focus, more driven, more intensity during those workouts is going to pay off. On top of that, remember you're doing a zone 2 cardio 5 times a week at least every day. So those combined is perfectly enough as long as your diet is dialed in. Again, without nutrition and proper sleep, those results won't come. So the final takeaways: stick to 2 to 3 explosive sessions a week. Prioritize proper recovery and fuel. Mix in what you enjoy. For me, it's Muay Thai, sprints, assault bike. I mix it up, but I make sure the intensity is always there. Always aim for quality over quantity. Be fast, be powerful, and be done. I've never met personally somebody to be like, hey coach, I want to look like a marathon runner. You know what I mean? Like, nobody has that mindset. Everybody wants to look like a sprinter. Man, those guys are jacked, right? They have like 6 or 7% body fat like me, and they're just ripped. Okay, now if you ever talk to a professional sprinter, ask about his workout. None of them are going to tell you they do long distance or long time frame cardio sessions. It's impossible. Usain Bolt never ran over a mile, I heard, in his career. Like, you got to check the source, but that's insane. He's never ran more than a mile when he was getting ready for a race. Why would he? He doesn't need to. Step number 5 is lock in your sleep. Water, you can eat clean, you can do all the right things, right? But if your recovery sucks, you can train hard, you can eat clean, you can do all the right things, right? But if your recovery sucks, your fat loss is just gonna stop, okay? And I've done it for every fight that I had in cutting weight. I've been through that process, and I promise you, those are keys. I would choose those above all the rest that I said before, okay? The sleep is number 1 that people so often overlook, and then yet again, they do it all the time, and they wonder why they're not progressing. I see clients all the time. Yes, you're doing all the right things during the week, but on the weekend, you're not focused. all right? You're not on a mission. You're not really putting your 100%, and your recovery is going to be impaired coming Monday. And then you got to play catch up, and you can't do this, okay? So right now, the focus, you have 3 weeks to get shredded. You all in. That means no alcohol, no going out to eat to restaurants. You dialed in, okay? Now, let me explain why it works. Number one is sleep controls your hormones. You've experienced it before when you have poor sleep, okay? Your cortisol levels are going to be high and your testosterone levels are going to plummet. That means more fat storage, especially around the belly when you have high cortisol, and slower recovery from training. You need that testosterone to be high. Otherwise, you're not going to recover in between training sessions as fast as you should or would if you had proper sleep. In deep sleep, your body releases growth hormones, which is key for fat burning and muscle repair. Number two, hydration impacts everything. Even the slightest, even 1 to 2% dehydration is going to decrease your performance and increase fatigue. Staying hydrated improves your digestion, your energy levels, your recovery, and your fat metabolism. Number three is supplements are going to fill in the gaps. Liar. I'm a big believer on a whole food diet, okay? But supplements have its place. They do really work wonder if you know which one to use and when to use them. Now, they're not magic pills. They're not going to fix a bad lifestyle. If you don't sleep enough, all right, if your diet is not on point, supplements are not going to help. They are going to be most likely a waste of time, okay? I always advise that you check which supplements you choose, what you put in your body. You always want to look for, third-party tested supplements, such as Legion Athletic, which I am a sponsored athlete. If you click below, I will share the link with you. This will also give you 20% off on your first order, okay? So again, this is an amazing company. There's no crap in those. Whatever you see on the label in the back is exactly what you're gonna get, and each and every one supplement is third-party tested, okay? So again, whatever you put in your body, you know exactly what it is. But the right stack of supplement can really optimize your recovery, your performance, especially when you're cutting down on calories. Okay, actionable steps you can start today. Sleep routine, definitely aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep daily. Now, personally, let's say I usually try to go to bed at 10 p.m. and I wake up at 6. That's 8 hours. But those 8 hours is always quality, right? Sleep disruption, or maybe my dog, a sound, a light. This is very important. The quality of sleep, okay? You can stay in bed for 6 hours, but if you actually sleep during the 6 hours and you're well rested, compared to being in bed for 9 hours, but you're on and off, it's so the quality is more important than the quantity when it comes to sleep. Now, one thing that I've learned how to do as an athlete, okay, in order for me to stay disciplined, is actually set an alarm for bedtime, not for waking up. I actually wake up pretty naturally without an alarm, but to go to bed, for example, at 9:30 p.m., alarm, go brush your teeth, shower, whatever you got to do, and then get your ass in bed. No question asked after 10 o'clock, okay? That's the deal. Power down on the electronics, as you already probably know, all those lights from the iPad, the TVs, the laptop, cut that shit out, read a book, meditate, visualize, breathe, and then go to bed. Try to create a sleep ritual. So for me, that looks like I'm taking maybe some magnesium as a supplement, and then I'm gonna do some breathing exercises, and then allow us to stretch. Do a 10-15 minute stretch before I go to bed to really loosen up, relax my mind, and then I go to bed feeling less tight and relaxed, especially from the magnesium supplement before sleep is key. The hydration formula, again, first thing in the morning, you want to aim for at least half a liter of water. For me personally, I drink a whole liter. That's just part of my routine. I like to flush everything first thing in the morning. And really, I'm trying to always consume most of my water first part of the day and then slowly evaporate it out, okay? You obviously don't want to drink tons of water around 8 p.m. because we all know you're going to have to go to the bathroom and that's going to disrupt your sleep, okay? So personally, I'll always aim for at least usually a gallon by like 1 p.m. That's just me, okay? I'm a big guy and I sweat quite a bit. And so I want to make sure that I get my water intake first thing during the day. Make sure you also start your day with some electrolytes, all right? sodium, potassium, magnesium. And then also try to carry a water bottle everywhere you go. I have this is a couple liters right here. I'm gonna drink a couple throughout the day, but if you have it on site, you're always gonna just take a swing of water, and then throughout the day it will add up. I know so many of the people that forget to drink water. It's insane to me. I love water, but some people, well, I forget, or I've been busy, 6 hours goes by, you haven't drink water. This is a big mistake. Let's talk about supplements. I'm gonna give you my top 5 when it comes to trying to lose fat during a short amount of time to really optimize the fat loss, but also optimize your recovery and your performance as well. So number 1 is caffeine. Personally, I love anywhere from 100 to maybe 300, depending on what type of workout I have. 100 to 300 milligrams of caffeine, maybe 30 minutes before I work out. Number 2 is L-carnitine. This one is going to help with the fat transport and your energy levels. I'm not going to go behind all the science about this specific supplement, but just know that if you are looking to get shredded fast, it's going to help 100%. Number 3 is magnesium glycinate. This is the one that I take for recovery. I usually take it before I go to bed. I personally use anywhere from 200 to 400 milligrams, about 30 to 60 minutes before I go to bed. Now, there's different kinds of magnesium out there, supplement. Why this kind? It's the one that your body will absorb better and is optimal for recovery and winding down. Number 4, my favorite one, creatine monohydrate. It's going to help you retain muscle fullness and strength. I use about 5 grams daily. There's no need to load and do all that stuff. Just 5 grams daily. Even on days when you lack a little bit of sleep, there's studies out there that saying anywhere from 10 to 20 grams of protein is going to help your brain as well. So if you are underslept for whatever reason, creatine is a good option as well. And number 5, we've talked about it all day long, is electrolytes. Remember, if you sweat more and you eat less carbs, you're going to be depleted in electrolytes. And this is going to lead to weakness, fatigue, and cramping. And that's it, guys. That's in case of an emergency protocol that I have. If you want to get shredded in 3 weeks, this is exactly what I would do. And remember, this isn't forever. You have 3 weeks to get in the best shape possible. So you need to think about the reward that you're going to get after. Food, alcohol, partying, whatever sacrifices you have to make during those 3 weeks in your life right now, pause everything. That should be the only focus. But if you follow all those 5 steps with discipline, then I promise you in 21 days, you're gonna have amazing results. So please let me know in the comments down below if you ever tried something like this. Maybe I missed something. Maybe you wanna share something that was really beneficial for you to get shredded. I would love to hear your point of view, so make sure you drop a comment. And as usual, if you want a personalized plan to get shredding that will go over all the workouts that you need, all the meal plans, and the accountability, click the link below and you can schedule a free call with me, and then we can go over a game plan to get you started.